In today's video, we're going to talk about how a bank foreclosure comes up with its listing price. Now, this is a question I get all the time. Where do they come up with this crazy value? Well, there's really two big things that all the banks are going to do for a property to come up with its value. First thing, they're going to order a BPO from their listing agent. Second, they're going to order an appraisal from a state licensed appraiser. Now, all of your big banks are always going to have an appraisal done. They might have two BPOs done, but they're always going to have one appraisal done. The bad thing is they never tell us listing agents the values. We never know what the appraisal value comes in at unless there's an issue or discrepancy with the values. Then we might find out what it came in at, but they never tell us. So they're going to have a BPO, they're going to have an appraisal done. It's depending on the servicer how they go from there. Generally, every bank's going to have an asset manager assigned to that property. The asset manager's job is to come up with a marketing plan and a listing value. Now, a lot of companies have to have those approved by management. Some of them don't, but a lot of them do, which takes just extra time. So how do they do this? Well, basically, they're going to take the BPO, they're going to take the appraisal, and they're going to look at both of them. They're going to pull generally the good and the bad from each. A lot of times, they'll put more emphasis on the actual BPO, but depending on who it is, what type of seller it is, really dictates kind of what they can and can't do. For example, if it's a reverse mortgage foreclosure, they are lifting off that appraised value no matter what. Whatever that appraised value, if it's $220,000 and my BPO is $150,000, they're lifting at $220,000. Vice versa. If it's lower and mine's higher, they're lifting at the appraised value. Okay? Now, I know a lot of times it doesn't make sense, but a lot of these companies are under extreme strict guidelines when it comes to this. Not all of them, but some of them. So, the asset manager, he takes his values, he takes his reports. Also, a lot of these companies have their own software, their own proprietary software, actually. A lot of them will use Zillow, a lot of them will use other means to pull comps and compare to see if anything was left out that they like. A lot of these guys, they've got to have this stuff approved. So they're trying to watch, kind of their backs and their job and make sure that they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's. But they're going to take these values, they're going to come up with a listing price. Now, basically, it's the bank that decides what that listing price is. One huge myth that everybody thinks, they think it has a lot to do with the UPB, which is the unpaid principal balance. This just isn't true. The UPB has nothing to do with the list price. I don't have a single REO foreclosure client that has ever lifted based on what the previous balance on the loan was. Never. It's all based on current market values and a whole lot of human opinion. Now, there's a couple other little rules that some servicers have, and this is why you look at some bank foreclosures and a lot of agents and a lot of buyers will think these guys are just overpriced. They're generally just high. Well, here's a little tidbit secret that very few people know about. One of the largest servicers in the country that handles a ton of foreclosures has a very strict policy. They take a BPO value, say that's $90,000. They take an appraisal value, say that's $100,000. They take the highest value given, which in this case would be the $100,000, and they list at 108% of the highest value. So that means the BPO value would be 90, the appraisal value would be 100, but they're going to list at 108,000 because of their 108% markup. Now, why do they do this? I think the biggest reason is just to make sure they have a little buffer, so they just, in their eyes, they just don't give the property away. But that's one of the rules, and that's one thing that people don't understand, kind of how some of these properties get priced, a little bit on the high side, but it's never based on the UPB. So anyway, I hope this helps. If you have any questions or anything else, please put a comment down below, hit the like button, make sure and subscribe to my channel. I got a lot of real estate stuff coming out, a lot of foreclosure stuff, seller stuff, buyer stuff. Been doing this a long time, and I've got a lot of experience. So I want to share some knowledge. Appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. Thanks.